mocking.
uncomfortable.
I'm not mocking or making fun of.
Just the double take.
Yeah, I gotta look again. Like, what in the world's going on?
What about the gas masks? Have you seen those? Oh, I saw a couple of those.
Like a genuine gas mask.
Yeah, like I thought it was Halloween. I looked to my left, dude comes walking in. He's got the 2 barrels of the filters on each side. And it looked like it was Halloween. Like it was a legit gas mask. I'm like, look at that.
Way back when all this was starting in China and it hadn't really gotten here yet, Heather had this story about, remember the person that had, basically it was like a water bottle over their head?
Yes. They just got this big jug and stuck it over their head.
We were making fun of him, now look.
I know.
Yeah, and obviously he was on to something.
And I haven't said this on the air, and I almost brought it up when the last time we had Jamie on and stuff, but he would laugh at this, and he always said to us, like, just treat me the same and all this stuff. But when the coronavirus first came up, I remember it was late January, and Jamie's like, we get one of these every couple, years, these viruses or these things, Ebola, and, this isn't going to be a big deal. It'll go away just like the rest of them.
I thought exactly the same thing. I did.
Oh my gosh.
Think about SARS. It didn't really affect us all that much. And last year, I told Heather, you might not know this, Tom. Heather might not remember. But
okay.
I like to play a lot of golf. I'm bad at it still. Last year, it was the equine encephalitis mosquito disease. Do you remember this? Yes. So you don't know where they were, but it was in Wayne County. It was in Oakland County. So if you got hit by a bunch of mosquitoes, then you might have your brain swallowed, and you could die of this. It somehow just went away. Like, Corona got rid of that. Corona can't get rid of the hurricanes, but it can get rid of that, apparently.
No, I mean, in the end, the whole thing with this virus is just, the only reason why it's any different than a lot of these other things is just because of how contagious it is.
Well, did you see the latest? I just read a New York Post article before we came on the air.
About how you could now contract the virus?
Yes. Are you
I
ready
think
for
I
this?
did. Yeah, give it to me.
Is this going to be in your news?
No, but I'm pretty sure I've heard this. I just saw it as well.
Yeah. Apparently, it can go from toilet to toilet. So if you're in an apartment complex, it can go from your toilet to somebody else's toilet. And that's how you can get the virus.
Yes, I did see that.
Yep, I'm looking at the smartest person on the show is easily Greg Hargrave. And he gave no, it can't.
No.
That's what they're saying.
I will send you the story.
I saw it too.
Highly skeptical, I would say. Yes, exactly. Me too. I would say
misinformation during this time.
I just don't. There's been so much misinformation. Come on, I would get Garter to say, and I think Greg would agree with me on this, that it's highly more likely in an apartment building that it would spread through ventilation.
That's what I thought the article was going to say, through like air conditioning systems. Agreed. Nope. Toilets. So careful next time you use the office bathroom, boys. Think about that.
That's why you should use a bidet.
Well, nobody's here.
Just saying.
That's the thing. I mean, it's so hilarious. I get up every time, like during a break, and I'll go to my little cubicle, our cubicle. Heather, remember that place?
Yeah, I do.
And I have to put the mask on because that's company policy. It seems so silly. It's like, okay, I'm walking out here. There's nobody out here. Nobody.
Just so you know, on the ticket text, I'm looking at it right now, this person says, I went through a Wendy's drive-thru, or Arby's rather. They gave me a free sandwich because I was wearing a mask. Lady said nobody ever wears a mask in the drive-thru. Wanted to thank me. Just saying,
sweet.
Wear that mask in the drive-thru. All right, Heather is coming up next with news. What do you got, Heather?
Well, I'm going to continue this mask talk. Delta, I don't know if you've heard, but they're taking their mask policy very seriously. And I'm going to tell you their harsh consequences if you don't wear your mask.
Strap it on. 97.1 The Ticket.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center, already dealing with quite a bit of flooding on your drive this morning. Definitely give yourself at least a few extra minutes to get around. At this point, dealing with a crash leaving only the right side open. 94 westbound at Cadju. There's a wreck blocking the right side of 75 southbound at Caniff. Quite a bit of heavier traffic. M59 both directions between Mound and Old Van Dyke, as well as approaching the 75 696 interchange. I'm Michelle Pena with traffic.
largest used car inventory in Michigan.
Rich, is this another one of your crazy ideas?
Michigan, I need your trade-in, and I need it today. I'll give my staff strict instructions to buy 77 vehicles this week, and I'd rather buy well-cared-for local vehicles than mystery cars at the auction. So I'll give you up to 125% of the Kelley Blue Book fair market value for any trade-in.
But Rich, 125% for any trade-in?
That's right, 125% of KBV for any trade, no matter miles, condition, year, make, or model.
What if they're over mileage on their lease or upside down in their loan?
Tanya, we'll terminate the lease and we'll handle the balance.
So if you want 125% of Kelley Blue Book fair market value for your trade-in,
Come see me, Rich.
and me, Tanya,
Today.
at the all-new Londyland Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on M53 in beautiful Lake City, Michigan.
Call 810-724-0444 or click LeMondChrysler.com.
If you're looking for a career that is equally rewarding as it is challenging, Fiat Chrysler Automobiles is a great place to work. FCA is looking to expand its skilled trades ranks and fill positions immediately. Current positions needed include industrial controls, experience in industrial troubleshooting with internet-like communications, programmable logic controllers, and robotic programming. Candidates must have at least 4 years of combined experience and education, and be willing to provide documentation showing that they have the required experience and training. If you possess strong computer skills, experience with microcontroller programming, machine learning applications, commissioning, troubleshooting, or computerized maintenance management systems, join the team at FCA by going to careers.fcagroup.com. That's careers.fcagroup.com. This message is brought to you by Semida and Mission Works on behalf of FCA and Equal Opportunity Employers. This is Joe. Joe thinks he's seen it all. I've seen it all. Golden Chrysler Boat Shop, Capital Dodge Tattoo, Santa. When it comes to identity theft, Joe only monitors his private bank statements. Credit fraud. He doesn't realize that with so much of his personal info out there, his identity can be at risk in ways he might never know about, like a new loan in his name or his personal info for sale in a dark web. LifeLock helps detect and alert you to a wide range of identity threats. If there's a problem, a dedicated U.S.-based specialist can work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but LifeLock sees threats you could miss on your own. Oh, now listen. Right now, save up to 25% off your first year with promo code AWARE at LifeLock.com. Did you just say 25% off with promo code AWARE? I did. Okay, now I've seen everything. It is 3 p.m. Grace wants to treat herself, so she went to McDonald's. Because she knows only McDonald's has icy cool Minute Maid slushies. And the sweet churro slushies sure do hit the spot. So go ahead, dudes, and treat yourself to that Minute Maid slushie. It's not just a drink, it's a McDonald's drink.
Satisfy your craving for food with a large Minute Maid slushie, including new pink lemonade or a large iced coffee. Just $2 each at McDonald's. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with complimentary.
Microban 24 protects against Staphylococcus aureus and Enterobacter aerogenes bacteria, but does not provide 24-hour protection against viruses. Every time you touch a surface, you leave behind bacteria. To keep surfaces sanitized all day, use Microban 24. Spray on hard surfaces to kill 99.9% of viruses and bacteria initially. Then spray Microban 24 spray. Check the hours on bacteria and use as directed. Microban 24 sanitizing spray, vacuum, and surface cleaner.
However, the best people can transform your business and help take it to another level. And we can certainly help you find those talented people. We have nearly 3/4 of all job seekers in the U.S. government possible, and smart tools to help you find the best candidate for you. Indeed also provides flexibility to only pay for what you need and won't lock you into any long-term contracts. Claim your $75 credit to get more quality candidates fast when you post your first job at Indeed.com/high-impact. That's Indeed.com/high-impact. Terms and conditions apply.
The great thing about facts, they're proven. Like the fact that crude oil contains impurities. Or that base oil made from natural gas is 99.5% free of impurities. And the fact that Pennzoil is the first synthetic motor oil made from natural gas, not crude oil. It gives you unbeatable engine protection. The proof is in the Pennzoil. Based on Sequence 4A wear test using SAE 5W30. Ask for it at the Mopar Service Center at your local Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram dealership.
For muscle pain,
body aches, to strains, Blue Emu Maximum Arthritis. It works fast and you won't stink. Its unique formula with emu oil penetrates deep into relieve arthritis pain, sore muscles, joints, and more. Getting better. Call the P Las Vegas 971 DT studio line at 248-539-9797. Listeners stay educated by visiting thebeat.com. The P Las Vegas, the home of D4 sports in Vegas. Adventure Park. Adventure love.
The morning show on 97.1 Tickets. Tom, Jeff, and Heather with news. Hey, Heather.
Hey guys, I don't know about you, but I was woken up last night at least 2 times by the crazy storms going on. The thunder was so intense, the lightning, the rain, and I just saw pop up on the TV that there's a flash flood warning right now in Oakland and Macomb counties, effective until 10:41 a.m.
Oh, 10:41.
Out there.
Pretty
I know,
specific.
very specific, very specific. So,
10:42 going
be careful.
Yeah,
exactly.
driving in, guys, because I come from southern Wayne County. By the time I got up to 8 Mile, it got crazy. There's a lot of standing water already, so I just got new tires, and I could even feel a little movement. So if you don't have very good tires, be careful.
I don't want anybody's face in the flood. I don't want the flood, but the water is nice. My grass is dead. My whole neighborhood's grass is dormant. So maybe this will bring it back to life a little bit.
Maybe so. All right, you guys. So residents in several southwestern communities in Louisiana were actually asked to stay indoors with their windows and their doors shut. They were even asked to turn off their air conditioners after a chemical fire erupted in a biolab plant that was hit by Hurricane Laura. So you may have seen some photos, even some videos that just show this really thick smoke basically just billowing out of this lab, which manufactures pool chlorine and cleaning products. And apparently all the plumes from this fire carried an unknown amount of chlorine gas, which they say, hey, it could be very toxic, could cause some blistering and burning in the nose and the throat. So obviously this was very serious. Fire crews and even the Department of Environmental Quality got there as quick as possible. The fire was contained, which is great, and the good news was that initial monitors of the air quality found that chlorine in the outside air tested negative, so that's great news as well. Also, the aftermath of Hurricane Laura has left at least 6 people dead, more than 800,000 people without power, and the storm is actually still producing some pretty strong winds, isolated tornadoes, and heavy rains. So they're going to be dealing with a lot.
Yeah, no, again, I said this yesterday. I mean, you don't want anybody to get hit by something like this, but the country in general, and especially the people down there, were lucky. It was a lesser populated area that was affected the most, but that chemical fire, that's scary stuff because people are stuck, they're without power, and then they were told to shut their windows, and you're talking about humidity as high as can be, and it being hot because the storm had passed. It's like you're in like a hot box, basically. But you'd rather do that than be exposed to chemicals.
No question.
For sure.
And Tom is right.
You guys, oh yeah.
Well, just from what they said about this storm a couple days ago compared to what it ended up turning out to be, not that you ever wanted to hit, but it seems like it was a heck of a lot less worse than it could have been.
And thankfully, I mean, it was originally predicted that there was going to be 2 hurricanes to hit in that exact same area, and that first hurricane was lessened, at least to, I think, a tropical storm, so at least they didn't have that.
Well, you had little Marco, he just petered out.
Tom's so proud of that.
No, I'm not.
So proud.
I saw somebody call it little Marco. That just made me laugh.
Gosh. You guys, 3 suspects are in custody, including a 14-year-old girl, after shots were fired at Detroit police officers early Thursday morning. So officers had made a traffic stop and 2 arrests, and they were waiting for a tow truck. And that's when an unrelated vehicle drove by and fired shots at the officers. Thankfully, there were no injuries to any police officers or anyone there. And the suspects were arrested. They include 2 men 19 and 20 years old, and then a 14-year-old girl as well. Now, Detroit police officers say, hey, they need your help identifying and locating one other person of interest. They have his photo, which they've released. So if anyone knows who this guy is, they believe he was involved as well, and they'd like you to call the department ASAP.
Well, this is the scary thing for me, and this happened a few years ago when some of these, the police brutality things were happening, and then there was retaliation. Remember the incident down in Dallas where police were targeted? That's scary. I mean, that's why there are cops that are resigning, and or people that don't wanted to be cops don't want to be anymore. Very concerning.
That's an impossible job right now. It really is. And it's a good point by Utah, too. But a 14-year-old girl, wow.
So, I mean, it could be that she was just in the car with them. I don't believe she was the one that was firing the shots, but she was involved, and so she was taken into custody as well. You guys, Delta Airlines is not messing around when it comes to their mask policy. And they say any passengers who don't follow the rule and keep their masks on at all times won't fly on their airline ever again. So far, Delta has banned nearly 250 passengers for refusing to wear a face mask. And the CEO says that although this is rare, they're going to continue to put passengers who refuse to follow the required face covering rules on their no-fly list.
So let me get this straight. I go
Yes.
there, I'm in the plane, I take it off for whatever reason. I mean, you can take it off to eat peanuts, I get it, or...
Yes, you can take it off when you're drinking or eating. But then you have to put it right back on.
And if you don't put it on, kicked off the plane,
Yes.
banned for life.
I'm guessing initially they're probably going to say, hey, sir, can you put your face mask on? And if you like, oh, yes, I'm so sorry, I'll put this right on, I'm sure that's no big deal. But if you
Sure, yes.
refuse to do that, you cause a fuss, then yes, you're I mean, you can't be kicked off the flight when it's midair, but you'll be, it's pretty harsh. They're taking
And
it
then you
very
go to
seriously.
Southwest or Spirit or something else. Wow.
Yeah.
Do they put your picture up there so when you enter the Delta hub? Sorry,
Yep.
sir. Picture's right here. It's kind of like
For
back
sure.
in the day when we used to write checks and your check. This never happened to me, I swear. But when you used to write checks and your check bounced, and some establishments would put bounced checks on the wall called the Wall of Shame.
Really?
You ever see this? A couple of
No.
restaurants did. Oh yeah. People used to write checks for like soup and fries. It was like $7.46. The check bounces higher than a bouncy ball. Then they never got their money when they put the check on the wall. It always made me feel good about myself looking at that wall.
I've never seen that. I've seen people who like steal and they put those photos up.
I don't think I've written a check at a store more than 3 times in my life.
Oh,
I never have.
Back in the day at the supermarket, I wrote checks all the time. Yeah.
Did you balance your checkbook right there as well?
No, I waited till I got to the car.
I love the person that writes a check and then they don't have anything written down until they get the total. So annoying.
There you go, right?
Check too. You had to do 54, spell it out, dollars.
Yes.
And 36 cents.
That is how you write a check.
Why do you have to do that? How has that not been gone away by now? We have to write out the dollar. When you get a bill in a restaurant and you put it on a credit card, all you do is write that plus the tip and then just write the total. Well, how come on a check you have to write out the language of the number? Like $564 and 72 cents.
Yeah, it's like
Zero, zero.
Yes. The people that get in radio, so you read a number and you spell out the number, that's what you do with the check.
Yep.
Have you ever had a check bounce though?
No.
No, I'm a responsible person. No way.
Once or twice.
Guys, eight Nebraska football players have filed a lawsuit against the Big Ten over the cancellation of the fall football season. So the players are seeking a reversal of the league's decision, and they want more clarity on how the Big Ten actually arrived at the decision. The players have also agreed that they will not seek damages greater than $75,000, but the lawsuit states that the Big Ten's postponement hurts the players' future football prospects and their ability to market and brand themselves.
They could try. I don't think it's going to work. I mean, although the Pac-12 just came out and said they are reversing, or at least thinking about reversing their delayed basketball season. So at first they delayed it. Now they're kind of thinking about maybe they can start it on time. But I still believe the other conferences are going to cancel. And when they do, then you got no legs to stand on, I feel, if you're Nebraska.
But if they don't, then they do. See, this is going to be one of the most fascinating things to watch in the next couple of weeks. Will these other conferences pull it off? Because if they do, man, the Big Ten looks horrible.
Awful. I would agree. But if they don't, Nebraska just comes off as complaining, I feel. But you're right. I mean, will they pull it off? Gut feeling. Do you believe we see football in, what's it going to be, September 6th? Which is next week.
Wow, man. I think it's 50-50. I really do. I mean, it's hard to take one side, and I believe they will persevere in the SEC because they're going to force the issue a little bit. I mean, I'm one of those people that actually believes that. I'm not saying that Clemson intentionally got it, but once it started to happen, I wonder if they said, screw it, and because a lot of people believe that they said, let's all just get it, and then we can play.
Even though we're not sure.
Right.
That you can only get it once.
Right.
I mean, that's still unknown. But
there's been some reports out there, but I've yet to see anything go mainstream where it's across all the media outlets. It's that you can get the coronavirus twice. I have not seen that.
You know, you can get it from toilets and apartment buildings. Just we don't know about getting it twice. Heather, thank you. We appreciate it. That's News with Heather. Up next, we had more postponements yesterday from Major League Baseball, the NBA, the NHL, no Tiger game as well. We'll talk about it. 97 on the ticket.
Hello, Detroit. Do you have more people and more devices using the internet in your home? Switch to WOW Superfast Internet 100 for $39.99 per month. And for a stronger signal, add whole home Wi-Fi for $9.99 per month. Offer details at wowway.com. Wow.
Hi, I'm Matt Darko with Bill Brown Ford. We'd like to thank everyone for making us one of the top-selling Ford truck dealers in the entire country. With one of the largest inventories in the country, more people trust Bill Brown Ford because we don't just sell F-150s. Most of our team members drive one. Our team has decades of first-hand experience behind the wheel of America's best-selling truck. So let us help you choose and accessorize the right F-150 for you. Bill Brown Ford Livonia, proud to be your F-150 dealer.
There are times when it's hard to ignore that you may have a gambling problem. Like when you're at the casino and you've withdrawn the maximum amount from your ATM. Withdraw denied. When you can't leave the tables, yet you don't know how you're going to put food on the table. Credit card denied. When you can't seem to pump the brakes on gaming and then can't fill up your gas tank. Transaction denied. When you're so invested in gambling, you're not able to invest in the future. You're robbing yourself and those you love of a better life. Approval denied. Don't deny there's a problem any longer. If you or someone you love is struggling with a gambling problem, we can help you win your life back. For free confidential help, call the Michigan Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-270-7117 or visit michigan.gov/problemgambling. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Summer is here, and the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers are open and ready to help. Our Ford dealers are still offering online sales support, enhanced cleaning, and home delivery. We are committed to giving you, our customers, peace of mind. And to help, Ford has just announced new incentives. Right now, current AZ plan lessees can lease a 2024 Fusion SE for $149 through finance only at your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Payment includes rate security deposit, federal tax and license fees. Payment
promo code SHARE to receive your additional savings. Maybe now is the time to make a switch, like only 400,000 people already have. And start saving. Here it is, call 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
This hour of instant feedback brought to you by Mike Paterno of National Benefit Plans. For affordable life insurance, log on to nbthealth.com.
97.1 is the radio.com app. Download it today and listen to us anytime, anywhere.
When you start thinking about what's going on in this country and what some of our players are going through, that was the conversation today. That he was able to just get it out instead of holding it in front of everybody. It was a really good meeting. That made the difference in the world. Honestly, it was so emotional in there. I don't know if they could play baseball.
Ron Gardenhire, the skipper for the Tigers, they're going to play baseball today in Delton. 2 7-inning affairs. Twins Tigers. Catch game 1 and 2 right here on the ticket. It gets going at 1:10 on the Detroit Tigers radio network. But yesterday was another day where there was a lot of postponements. 7 baseball games. The Tigers were postponed. No NBA, no NHL playoff games. The Mets and Marlins walked off the field after a 42-second moment of silence. Of course, paying tribute to Jackie Robinson. And I don't know, we don't know exactly when the NBA or the NHL is going to come back, but we do know they're going to come back. I remember Tom and I, and Tom wants to back, but we bet big money on if the NBA is just going to be canceled the rest of the way. And Tom said no. I said yes. I was going with the LeBron factor because he was so upset for every reason to be upset, obviously. On Wednesday night, I really thought the season was going to be doomed. I thought he was going to take a lot of people with him. A lot of people would agree with him. He has a lot of clout. But apparently they talked late into the night. They figured out some stuff, and they're going to resume in the bubble in Orlando. But now you've seen 2 days. Players have voices. Players are taking stances. There's all kinds of different examples where players are fed up, just like Americans are fed up that this continues to happen. And we're talking about the latest issue with Jacob Blake, that I wonder, are you good with it? And I heard Mike Rico talk about it yesterday. Things got a little hot and heavy at times. I heard Pat talk about it. Wojo talked about it. Wojo, I thought, brought up a great point about the NBA kind of really reaching out to the players and kind of doing everything they wanted. So who exactly are the players upset with? So there's so many different angles I feel you can attack it with, or you can come with at it with. But 248-539-9797, we'll have sports today. And I gotta believe for the foreseeable future. But are you good with the sports leagues decided to do?
I'm completely fine with it, 100%. I do believe, things can get hot and heavy on this topic, but people need to be open to both sides and their opinions on both sides. And I hate the shouting down on the one side that there are people out there that don't like this or don't agree with it. I'm not going to call them stupid. They're entitled to their opinion. It should be an open
sports crowd.
It should be, it should be an open conversation. I understand that. I just think we're getting to a point where, these guys are look, in the end, the sitting out stuff, does it make a statement? Yeah, but how much of a statement does it make? I mean,
I think that's yet to be determined. But I think they're on the right track. Like everything else has been tried, and it hasn't worked. And I think the general premise is, why should we continue to allow granted they're going to do, but why should we continue to give you an escape when this stuff is going on around the world? No, we're not going to play. And hopefully, while we're not playing, we're going to talk about things, and we're going to listen to each other. And hopefully we're going to move a step closer to some form of change that has failed to happen over the course of a very long time. So, yeah, I think it does make a difference. But with that being said, I do understand the people that just want to watch sports as an escape from their everyday life, but I applaud the players for sitting out.
But what about this side of things? Brian Urlacher made some controversial comments, according to some people. Some people don't have a problem with this, and I don't like what Urlacher said, but the people that don't mind it or kind of see the correlation, hey, they're entitled to their opinion. So he said on Instagram, he goes, Brett Favre played the Monday Night Football game the day his dad died, threw 4 touchdowns in the first half, and was a legend for playing in the face of adversity. NBA players boycott the playoffs because a dude reaching for a knife, wanted on a felony sexual assault, was shot by police.
See, I just don't think he understands or doesn't want to understand. Because it's not just about Jacob Blake. It's about equality. It's about being treated differently. It's about being black in America. Like my mother and I were having this discussion yesterday, and I just kind of feel Brian Urlacher is missing the point. He either doesn't understand or he doesn't want to understand. And I think it's a bad take.
I mean, right. You think it's a bad take, but you're not going to put Brian Urlacher, be done with him and he shouldn't get any endorsements or anything like that. You're not going that far. There's people that think he's entitled to his...
Bears are.
You know what? Matt Forte, he countered, and we'll get to those comments in a second, but Brian Urlacher shouldn't be, vilified for the rest of his life because of that opinion. I don't like the opinion, but I'm not going to... He shouldn't be, crucified for it either. So, Matt Forte was a teammate of his for 4 years, and he responded last night on Twitter, and he says, the comment that Urlacher posted is void of empathy, compassion, wisdom, and coherence, but full of pride and ignorance. I pray for those who have been blinded by their wealth, privilege, and earthly fame that breeds arrogance in their hearts, and those who refuse to acknowledge racism and injustice, but instead choose to place their energy into justifying it by quickly judging the victim's life as they themselves are more valuable because their sins are different or weren't caught by man, but God sees all. Now, I agree with that opinion, but I'm a person of faith, so I understand where he's coming from.
See, it's funny because you said Brian Urlacher's career should not be over, and he should get endorsements, or he should be stopped getting endorsements. It seems like the Bears are kind of distancing themselves, and maybe they feel like they have to, about what Urlacher had to say. He's not playing, obviously, anymore, but I'm with Forte on this. I just think this is the issue. Okay, it's not Brian Urlacher's fault, but I feel, we talked about entitlement, we talked about Forte, I just feel that Urlacher doesn't see the whole picture, or he doesn't want to see the whole picture, and it's all about him, when this whole thing, I guess, is about others.
Right.
Understand.
What Urlacher said that I agree with the most, he used the word ignorance. And I believe we're all ignorant about things. I've been ignorant about a lot of things. I've come a long ways in terms of this subject and understanding what black Americans have gone through. I was kind of a person, after the civil rights movement, I wasn't born then and stuff, but things weren't that bad. I grew up and I didn't have that many black students in my school. I was ignorant to everything. And you sit back and listen to people and you get to know and you can change your opinion. And Lance Briggs retweeted what Forte said. So you've got some friction between all these former Bears from their Super Bowl team, that went to the Super Bowl. What I would say all needs to happen here is what happened with Drew Brees. Let's get everybody in a room and talk.
Yeah,
let's not hang Brian Urlacher and write him off and say he's some villain like some people want to do. That's what makes me mad about this topic. Is that we can teach people. You can't just leave people behind.
I agree. Does Brian Urlacher want to be taught?
I would bet you. I would bet you that if the Chicago Bears Super Bowl 41 team said, let's get together and talk about this, or let's do a Zoom because of coronavirus, that he would do it.
248-539-9797. The ticket text is the exact same number. What do you think about Urlacher's comments? Matt Forte's comments? And what do you think about your sports league saying, screw it, we're not playing? And by the way, it's the players choosing it. It's not like it's the owners choosing it. I gotta believe the owners probably aren't happy about this, but the players flat out said, Minnesota Twins got together yesterday and said, we're not playing. And the Tigers said, we're good with that. We're not playing. Now they're playing a double dip today. So they're playing 2 7-inning games instead of 1 9-inning game. But I think it's great. I think it's powerful. I think that finally you're seeing another level because nothing else has worked as far as change is concerned. But 248-539-9797, we'll come back. We'll talk about it. 97.1 The Ticket.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center, this report brought to you by Comcast Business. 94 westbound at Cadrew, a crash leaves only the right side open. There's a new accident blocking the right lane and shoulder, 696 westbound at Mount. And 59 both directions flooded right now between Mount and Van Dyke Avenue. Today, businesses are starting to bounce back, but what if you could do better than that? What if you could adapt and find new ways to succeed with new customers? Well, Comcast Business wants to help you do just that. Learn how you can not just bounce back, but bounce forward at ComcastBusiness.com. On the show, Pena with traffic.
Text the ticket now. Ticket text 248-539-9797. If you are a consumer and need to trust a name that means everything, it's Galling. Galling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is now open in Roseville, on Gratiot, just south of 696. The same great service that you get in Bloomfield and Chelsea is now offered at Galling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Roseville. Galling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has earned the FCA Customer First Award for Excellence, certified by J.D. Power. That's the Galling difference. Your Jeep destination. During the summer clearance event, lease the 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo 4x4 for just $289 a month employee, $319 friends and family. Or lease the 2020 Jeep Cherokee Limited 4x4, just $319 a month for employees, $369 for friends and family. Visit GallingRoseville.com and buy or lease your next vehicle online. You search, you request, we deliver to your home or office. That's the Galling difference. Galling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, located on Gratiot Avenue in Roseville. Come in and experience the Galling difference. Trust the Galling difference. Your Jeep destination.
This is Boomer Esiason with the Radio.com Sports Minute. I'll say this for the Big Ten football players and their families. They won't take no for an answer. First, Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields collected 350,000 petition signatures urging the conference to reconsider its August 11th decision to postpone college football until the winter or spring. Then a group of parents representing 11 of the 14 Big Ten schools staged a protest outside conference headquarters in a Chicago suburb. Parents of a number of Nebraska players wrote an open letter to Commissioner Kevin Warren demanding to see documents related to the decision-making process and the scientific data that was considered. Now 8 Cornhuskers players have filed suit against the Big Ten. According to the Omaha World Herald, the 13-page complaint charges the decision against playing this fall didn't follow established decision-making procedures and was based on flawed and misapplied medical information. I'm Boomer Esiason.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply.
Come on, one more rep. You got this. 10. There it is. Nice work. You're a beast.
Thanks, man. I feel better than I have in years. And I gotta tell you, taking Nugenix makes a huge difference for me.
Nugenix? That's the testosterone booster with TV ads with Frank Thomas. The big hurt, right?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is Testofen, which helps boost free testosterone levels and increase lean muscle mass.
Well, it's clearly working for you. Hey, are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try for themselves?
Yeah, Nugenix is a great way to increase lean muscle and feel stronger with more energy and endurance.
Man, I need to get a complimentary bottle of Nugenix.
No problem. You just gotta send them a text. Text BICEP to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of new Nugenix Thermal, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help get you back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BICEP to 42424. That's BICEP to 42424.
It's here! It's really here! Better prices!
I can't believe it! Finally! More choice!
Michigan Auto Reform is here, and that means more choices for personal injury protection. Allstate, you can lower your costs, not your standards. We'll help you navigate your needs, along with your budget. There's no better time to get a quote from Allstate. Click or call today.
Now that we're getting back on the road, the stops we make seem more special than before. Stop to see a friend. Stop at your favorite store. Stop at the places you missed the most. And to keep you going between those stops, there's Shell. Stop and fill up with our best fuel ever. Save with the Fuel Rewards program. And to get snacks and essentials that can save you even more at the pump. That's just a few of the ways Shell helps you make the most of the stop you need to make. See full terms and conditions at fuelrewards.com.
Capital One knows life doesn't alert you about your credit card.
Hey, top strippers, we've got nonstop tips to keep you rocking while you work. Oh, and calling, yes, you calling with a K. Your free trial of Movie Plus ends tomorrow, and your card may be charged. Do you want to continue or cancel?
So meet Eno,
about it, and we will get sports back. Also, you heard Tom bring up Brian Urlacher's comments, the former linebacker for the Bears, and Fontain's response, the former running back for the Bears as well. For 248-539-9797, if you want to comment or text, we got some text to get to too, and people chiming in about the Urlacher. Want to hear some of these, Tom?
Sure.
There we go. Urlacher's comments were insensitive. You got it. Just because Jacob Blake has a criminal past does not mean that his office is going to be judged as. So for him to bring up the history problem that America is facing now, and if you don't understand that sad, it's literally as simple as that. And I actually think you're fine. And I think I said that too. Like, it's not just about the different it's about these situations continuing to happen. It's about equality. And I don't assume people want to say, well, Jacob Blake had a woman, they might have had a gun, and they did find the knife, and it wasn't supposed to be there, but it doesn't give you the right to shoot a man 7 times and connect 4 times.
Right, no, I agree with that text 100%. All I was saying about Urlacher was, let's let him have a chance to learn and reshape maybe what he thinks about this, you know?
And that's fine. The issue is he's played in a lot with diapers for a very long time. Not to mention, he's in his 40s, I gotta believe, by now. I just think it's a bad take, and it's not like this is all you. That's all. I mean, listen, you have the right to say whatever you want. You got the right to your own opinion, and we all have the right to disagree.
All right, now we're going to go down this road, though. I think some people would jump and say, well, Brian, you said he was in a lot of controversy, of course. But some people would take his comments and think he's racist. I don't think he's racist. I think he's ignorant.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm not going to racist.
All right, let's go to the phones. We got Brandon in Waterford. You're on 97 on the ticket. What's up, Brandon? Hello, Brandon. Right?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hey.
Hey, man. Just talking real quick. I just wanted to bring up the fact that, I'm a huge follower of the NBA and NFL, and, I definitely look at the actions and stats that they have detailed such other topics, but the one thing I've noticed is nobody with that platform has ever mentioned anything about child sex trafficking and how big of an issue coming not only to America but the world. So if we took all that energy, they had towards Black Lives Matter and put it towards child sex trafficking as well, imagine how many people need to wake up and realize that this is a growing problem.
It's interesting because we talked about this a little bit yesterday, and a guy called up and he said, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? And I got on a little bit of content, and this is almost kind of the same thing. You are right. Obviously it is, without a doubt. But I guess I could jump to the, well, if you're going to protest for this and bring awareness for this, then you should also do this for this as well. I mean, I think we would all agree it's an issue. We would all agree it's despicable. We would all agree it has to stop. So what do you say? That the NBA players should stop games for that as well? And every issue as well? Like, I kind of feel we, at times, have an issue sticking to the point here, sticking to the top of the head. Is that fair?
I'm just saying that, I agree that it's that child sex trafficking is such a huge topic. It's right up there with Black Lives Matter. And I know that's probably going to catch you slack and, rough feathers, but think about something, around the world that we're trying to
I hear you, but what you're saying, it's not a huge issue. But I think part of the reason people and black people get upset is because of comments like that. It's almost like we're talking about this issue, and then you got to bring up that issue. And while it's a big issue, it's almost like all the people that say, well, Black Lives Matter, and then they come